Chicago fire season 14 likely to bring a major breakup, and we're not happy. After a full season of Will They Won't They, Chicago fire season 13's final finally delivered the answer. Just as Jake Lockett's Carver shared that he was heading to Denver, Hanako Greensmith's Violet gave him the letter she had written to him. Well, that led to both of them saying those three important relationship words. That's great, except we all know that this likely means some heartbreak very soon. After all, Lockett will not return to Chicago fire season 14 as a series regular. It doesn't rule out him coming back as a guest star, but it's going to be much harder to keep a relationship going. Showrunner Andrea Newman talked to TV Line about this. During the Chicago fire season 13 finale, Carver shared that the triggers in Chicago were too much. If he wanted to get a handle on his drinking, it would mean leaving. He would put in for a transfer to the Denver Fire Department, and he looked set to leave during the finale. The episode led to Violet finally giving Carver her letter, which shared all the feelings she had for him. While the two have finally said, "I love you" to each other, it's setting Violet up for heartbreak. Carver still seems set to leave for Denver. After all, this doesn't change the fact that Chicago is packed with triggers for him that lead to him drinking. This would also put a lot of pressure on Violet. It would seem like Carver is only staying for her, and now she needs to be his person to help when he is fighting the urge to drink. It's a lot to put on one person. On top of all of this, the plans haven't changed to have Lockett leave. Due to budgetary needs, Lockett and Daniel Keary are not returning in Chicago fire season 14 as series regulars. They could appear now and then, but it all depends on schedules at this point, as they are not contracted for this. A long-distance relationship is possible, but it is also hard. Brett and Casey managed it, but after a while, Brett left Chicago to be with the man she loved. So for Violet and Carver to make things work, it would suggest that Violet would eventually leave for Denver, which she's shown no hints of doing as so much of her life is in Chicago. There's always the possibility they'll try that, but I don't know if that helps him. If what he's really trying to do is get away from the space where he fell apart and started to spiral, if getting in a relationship with somebody who was all part of that is in the cards. I'm not sure, Newman teased. So it looks like a major breakup is coming, and we're not happy about this. All we want is for Violet to be happy, and Chicago Fire is setting her up for another heartbreak. Things have been heating up at Firehouse 51 for years, and we're not just talking about the fires. But now, fans of Chicago Fire are sensing smoke from a different kind of blaze, one that could lead to heartbreak. Rumors are swirling, tensions are high, and if the signs are anything to go by, a major breakup might be on the horizon. And frankly, we're not happy about it. Let's be real. Chicago Fire has delivered iconic romances. Stellar couples like Casey and Dawson, Severide and Kidd, and even Cruz and Chloe have given us swoon-worthy moments, dramatic near misses, and yes, the kind of passionate reunions that make us cheer through the tears. But the winds are changing, and it feels like one fan-favorite pair may be heading for the kind of crash no paramedic can fix. We're looking at Stellaride, Kelly Severide, and Stella Kidd. For seasons, they've been the couple to root for. Through their steamy beginnings, career conflicts, and emotional growth, they've remained each other's rock. But recently, there's been a shift. Severide's disappearance to an ATF training course, extended absences, and emotionally distant phone calls all paint a picture that fans can't ignore. Meanwhile, Stella's been stepping up at Firehouse 51, juggling leadership with mounting uncertainty about her husband's priorities. It doesn't help that Severide's passion for arson investigation seems to be reigniting, pun intended, something deep inside him. And while we support personal growth, let's not pretend like a husband who disappears for weeks without warning isn't waving 1,000 red flags. Stella, once fierce in her independence, is now questioning whether her partner is still as committed to their life together as she is. And to make things worse, she hasn't been confiding in anyone. In recent episodes, we've seen her lingering in the background after brief, awkward phone calls. When asked about Kelly, her answers are clipped, her smile forced. The once fiery connection is fizzling in real time, and it's breaking viewers' hearts. Stella, who once dropped everything to support Kelly, is now left with half-hearted check-ins and cold comfort. But let's not forget, this isn't just about one relationship. A breakup like this could fracture the very fabric of Firehouse 51. Remember when Casey and Dawson split? The ripples were felt in every storyline. Severide and Kid aren't just lovers, they're leaders. Their bond inspires their team. If that unravels, we're not just losing a couple, we're losing part of the emotional center of the show. And then there's Cruz and Chloe, a couple who's been riding strong but might be next on the chopping block. Cruz is juggling his role as a father and firefighter while facing deep grief over the loss of Otis that still haunts him in quieter moments. Chloe, who's been incredibly supportive, is starting to feel the pressure. Her recent comments about needing more help and presence at home aren't just throwaway lines. They're breadcrumbs, and they might be leading us straight to a breaking point. Fans are already worried. On forums and social media, the speculation is rampant. Will Chloe take their son and leave if Cruz doesn't prioritize family? Is Severide having second thoughts about marriage? Again? Could Kid finally walk away to save herself from heartache? Let's say it plainly. Chicago Fire is flirting with disaster, and not the kind you can extinguish with a hose. The most heartbreaking thing, we can't even blame one person. Everyone's overwhelmed. Severide isn't cheating. He's chasing his calling, albeit poorly communicated. Kid isn't controlling. She's trying to stay afloat in a sea of uncertainty. Cruz isn't careless. He's just grieving, overworked, and out of alignment with what his family needs. But love doesn't always crumble because of betrayal. Sometimes it dissolves slowly, under pressure from silence through time apart. There's still hope, of course. This is Chicago Fire after all. Reconciliation can come in dramatic rescues, impromptu kisses in smoky hallways, or late-night confessions after a harrowing shift. We want to believe in these couples. We want to see Severide come home, not just to Chicago, but to Stella, emotionally, fully, without reservation. We want Cruz to see that being a hero at home matters just as much as being a hero in the field. But until those moments come, we're left bracing ourselves for impact. Firehouse 51 has faced backdrafts, building collapses, and citywide chaos. But a major breakup, that might be the hardest fire to survive. And if it happens, we'll be here, tissues in hand, ready to watch the pieces fall. But make no mistake, we are not okay with this. We're not ready to say goodbye to Stellaride. We don't want to see Chloe walk away. We want our Firehouse family intact. So if you're listening, Chicago Fire writers, don't let the flames burn it all down. Let these couples find their way back. Let the love rise from the ashes. Because if you break our favorite pairs, it's not just Stella and Severide who'll be heartbroken. It's all of us.